Howdy, I'm Hannah from the Okie Bookish Stitcher, and this is my second FlossTube. Today is November 4th, 2022, almost at 2002. That just kind of shows how my life is right now. But let's just jump right into it. So starting with life updates, I am not gonna go down the rabbit hole of work. I am just going to avoid it as much as I can because we have a thing called OPSEC, which is operational security. So I don't want to accidentally say something that to me is routine, but to someone else it might be like a big deal. So just to avoid that, I am just going to pretend like work doesn't exist. There's way back in the day, I saw this poster and it was from World War II and it was Navy themed and it said loose lips sink ships. That is so true. So I'm just going to avoid that and move on with life updates. So my youngest daughter, she is a sports fiend. She loves sports, but with work and getting her to practice and games and everything, it's really hard to go from one season to the next season to the next season. So this year we had a deal that she could try out any sport that she wanted. And then at the end of this year, she had to choose which one she wanted to do. So she tried basketball, softball, and soccer. And softball won, which is kind of surprising. I thought basketball was gonna win, but no, softball, which I am okay with because softball is really fun. I love baseball and softball's pretty much the same thing for the most part. My oldest daughter, she is in Girl Scouts. So she's working on her Silver Award, which if you're not familiar with Girl Scouts, there are 3 what they call higher awards that you can earn through different volunteer opportunities. Like you have to create a project and then you have to fulfill it, and there has to be a piece on like keeping it alive or bringing awareness to the project, something along those lines. So my daughter did her bronze by herself because at that time there wasn't any other juniors. So juniors are 4th and 5th grade, and that's when you can do your bronze. Once you bridge out of juniors, that's it. You lost your chance to do your bronze. So what she did was she made fidget blankets for patients with Alzheimer's, any kind of disability that would require them okay, let me start over. So basically everyone kind of knows what a fidget toy is. So she made these little placemat blankets that are probably about 12 to 13, I think, inches, that is. And then she would sew like Velcro and buttons and zippers and all kinds of odds and ends on there. And then the nurses, providers, CNAs, anyone who's working with these patients, whether it was nursing home or hospital, the patient could play with these little toys while getting their medical treatment. So that way it would distract them. So that was her project. And one of the military spouses actually donated a ton of fabric. I think it was 3 or 4 trash bags full of fabric, all different shapes, sizes, colors. Some were childlike, some were more adult, because she actually she has a home business where she creates different shirts, dresses, purses, I mean, all kinds of stuff. People can commission her to make just about anything. So she has all kinds of leftover fabric, and she graciously gave us all that. Well, when they bridged up to cadets, my daughter was already in the mindset of the higher awards because she had just completed her bronze right before she bridged. And that kind of got everyone else excited because, you know, why not just knock it out of the way? Because it's a lot. You have to have at least 50 hours per scout in order to achieve it. And there's like different things you have to hit. Like it's a big undertaking. And so when they were figuring out what to do, the first thing that we look at is what kind of resources do we already have available to us? And so I brought up the fabric, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. They decided to do quilts for children in foster care, which is pretty awesome. Well, when I was in middle school, there was a really popular quilt style called rag quilts. And I actually have one from back when I was a kid, when I was in middle school. So, as you can tell, it's shaggy on the front, rag, as you can tell by the name, and then the back is flat, just like any other quilt. And it's very forgiving, so I thought that would be a perfect one for 6th graders that haven't ever quilted before. The blocks were supposed to be 8x8, and then the batting was supposed to be 7x7. It didn't quite work out that way. So this box is full of blocks. We have about 60 done, and there's much more to cut up and sew together. So this is a 8x8. This is, I'm not sure. So obviously I want to use as much as we can because no need to waste our hard work and materials. The question is, how do I do that? Because the only one that I've made, which is this one, is, as you can tell, in a block formation. So you do the blocks and then you sew them together in a row and then you sew the rows together. I'm not going to be able to do that with the mismatched sizes. Not sure what to do. In January, we have what we're calling a silver retreat. We rented a cabin at the Girl Scout campground for 2 nights, and we are going to do nothing but put these blocks together because the goal is that all these blocks are going to be put together. So all we got to do is assemble. So I need a game plan before we go out there. Otherwise, we're going to waste a bunch of time thinking about it. So if you have any ideas from, especially from the people who have been sewing for quite a while, if you have any ideas on how to place the mismatched ones, I guess, the obvious thing is I could cut them all down to whatever the smallest size is and then go from there. But that just seems so wasteful. I would prefer not to do that if I can avoid it. But we'll see. Okay, so since we're on the topic of sewing, I made this little bag. Let me see. Where is it? Okay. So I used this pattern off of Etsy, and it worked out really well. It's kind of small, but actually kind of what I was wanting. I wanted it just big enough for my Bible and my bag of pins, which where did it go? Bag of pins, Bible, like just to give you an idea of the dimensions. So this is what I came up with. The Downton Abbey actually was a part of a bag that I bought at a Goodwill for just a couple of dollars. It was several years ago. Well, the handles were wearing out and I had to come up with something else, but I didn't want to lose this. And so what I did was cut it up, and then on the outside, this is Pioneer Woman fabric with little bluebirds. The brown is from just little polka dots. There we go, little polka dots that my mom gave me. And then this fabric, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it because there's a lot of light bleed through. Oh, there we go. But they're little X's. So I thought that was super cute because of cross stitch and everything. And it's the perfect size for what I need. My 2 little items, and then my little wallet fits in there with my cell phone. So it's perfect. Okay, and then I'm just gonna move on to Yule Miss gifts. So in my family, we call it Yule Miss because we are an interfaith family. I'm Christian, obviously. My husband's actually pagan. And so because there's a lot of similarities between Christmas and Yule, we combine it, and that way we celebrate both sides of the family. So I'm gonna go ahead and just show these to you now. These are for my kids because I'm just gonna stick them in a frame and hang them up. It's not gonna be anything special, so I probably won't show them again. Now, my youngest daughter, she loves Michael Jordan, which is surprising since she's not in basketball anymore, but got Michael Jordan. Oh, what is? Yeah, Michael Jordan. And then there wasn't a cover photo, so I can't show you like the actual, not pattern, whatever, you know what I mean. But the Etsy shop that I got it from was paper and stuff. And it was a combo. It had that, and then it also had the Chicago Bulls symbol logo with Chicago Bulls in the right font. And so my husband is a Chicago Bulls fan, so eventually I'll make that for him, but that is gonna be a minute. And I used DMC 153, which is a very light purple. And this is 14 count Ada. Just, I think I had to buy it off of 123 Stitch. Maybe it was embroidery.com. I can't remember. But my oldest daughter, she is really into UFOs, Bigfoot, X-Files, all that other fun stuff. So I made her this, and it says, "I want to believe," which is a play off of the poster from the X-Files, and it has the UFO and Bigfoot. So it's like a 3-in-1. And this one is from another Etsy shop. And it doesn't have the Etsy shop name. Oh, yes, it does. Cross Stitch Foxy, Foxy. So that's that. I love it when Etsy shops give a cover photo because it really makes it a whole lot easier. And it's free publicity for them, so I don't know why they don't do it. But that's their business. Okay, and then I used DMC 151, which is a very light pink. Okay. Then, moving on to, so some of you may know, some of you may not, but embroidery.com does this annual challenge. They do it in October and they also do it in February. So for October, it's called the Witchy Stitchy Challenge. And it is so much fun. It's very low maintenance, but it's really fun to watch everyone's progress. So literally all you do is you go to embroidery.com, you sign up and say, yes, I want to participate in the challenge. And then you go to their Facebook group, you join, and then every day you post a before and after picture of whatever project you're working on. It doesn't have to just be cross stitch. It can be anything with stitches. So it could be sewing, could be embroidery. I've even seen some crochet and knitting on there because, those are technically stitches. I've seen all kinds of stuff and they count. You just have to do 30 minutes a day. And then I think you're allowed 3 skip days. Yeah, I think you're allowed 3 skip days. But anyway, so for that, my focus piece was this pattern for my friend for Christmas or Yulemas. She is a huge Breaking Bad fan. So I got this off of Etsy, again with the Etsy. So it's Walter, and it says, let's cook, which he is a meth cook. I think everyone's kind of familiar with the general overview of what Breaking Bad is. Science teacher, gone rogue meth cook. I washed it because I finished it. I washed it, dried it, ironed it, and I have it sitting out on the table. And I had it with my stuff to bring yesterday when I went to work, because I come straight here to the library to film after work because it's on my way home. Well, up and forgot it. But I wanted to go ahead and show the pattern because 1, next month I may forget. But 2, I also wanted to tell you about the embroidery.com challenge because it's so much fun. This is my 2nd year, and then in February I plan on doing the Valentine's Day one. I think it's Love to Stitch. But anyway, if you go to embroidery.com or you find embroidery.com, well, on Facebook, if you just put in embroidery.com, it should pop up. And you can join and get all the details. So, but yeah, I just want to let you know. And it was actually a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be. It's actually pretty good size. But when I bring it next month, it'll be framed and everything, so you'll get like a good idea of what it looks like. Okay, so another thing I've been working on is little Girl Scout logos. I got this pattern off of Etsy. Unfortunately, it didn't have a cover photo, so I have no idea what shop it was, but there's not a lot of Girl Scout patterns on Etsy. So if you just search Girl Scout cross stitch, it should pop up, no problem. But this is on 11 count Aida. Everything else is on 14 count Aida. This is on 11 because I'm also making kits for the cadets because we are very outdoorsy, but we also like to do more of the hands-on stuff that we can just be lazy, because sometimes you just need a lazy day to just sit and chit chat. So Troop 2969, I hope this is coming across the right direction for you guys. But anyway, it's Troop 2969, 11 count. And then eventually, so this is probably not going to be the last time that you see this, because I'm also going to make some more of these for my co-leaders. Each level has 2. And so we have 7, almost 8. Hopefully there'll be 8 before June. I was going to try to do these for Christmas, but with everything else, it's just not going to happen. I don't have enough time to do 7 more of these. So I am going to just put it on the back burner, and I'm going to save it for our bridging / end of year ceremony in June. So what we do is we celebrate the girls that are going to the next level, but we also celebrate all the accomplishments. Like, for instance, the cadets, they'll be done with their silver by then. So we'll also celebrate their silver. The juniors will probably be next year's. I mean, you get the picture. Like, it's a big deal. It's a big ceremony for our troop. But anyway, so I'm gonna do that. And then I got this wooden heart at Walmart, and then I'm gonna get some pretty ribbon, and I'm gonna hot glue a ribbon just in a loop, and that way they can hang it up. Now I have these little bows. I got a little green one, a little green one, and a little red one. And I don't have enough to just do all green or all red, so I'm gonna mix and match. But my question is, should I do the bow on top? That way it's like a, girly little trefoil? Or should I put it off to the side to break up the wood? I don't know. What do you think? Do you think off to the side or in the middle? I can't make up my mind. But anyway, just let me know in the comments what you think. As you can tell, I need some people to bounce some ideas off of. Okay, on to a Christmas / maternity gift for a coworker. So I charted this little baby foot, and she has 2 girls and a boy, so pink, purple, and blue. And then I started out with pink, and then I went to purple, and then blue, and then it kind of made this like tie-dye effect, which as I was stitching it, I didn't like it, but now that it's done and I see the whole thing, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute. I like that. But it doesn't look like the overall picture doesn't look done to me. So I'm thinking, do I want, because I charted the other foot too, so do I want to do another foot here? Or do I want to find her the dates of the births, or the years, not the full dates, just the years, and put them off to the side? I don't know. What do you think? Do you think another foot, or do you think the years? Please let me know, because I am definitely torn between the two. And then the ribbon that I used was the pink 115, the purple 153, and then the blue 794. It's kind of scraggly, but 794. Okay. Speaking of gifts, so at work, I was taken out of the management world and put into another position. So I'm not actually supervising anyone anymore. But But because I've already done a handful of the magnets and Christmas gifts, I want to finish it out a little bit. Not everyone's gonna get it at this point, but there are two people left that I would like to gift magnets to. One is really into swords, just all kinds of swords. The Asian swords, the medieval swords, all of it. So I would really like to do a sword cross stitch, but I'm having trouble finding one that's magnet size. So if you know of a cute little pattern for a sword that would be about that size, I did see a couple that were Minecraft swords that I think if I do the colors correctly, I think it would look like a regular sword, just pixelated because it's cross stitch. But if you guys know of a little sword cross stitch, please let me know. The other one, he's really into How the Grinch Stole Christmas because every year he dresses up as the Grinch and he does all different kinds of community events for children. So the Grinch is a huge thing for him. I was kind of thinking maybe just doing like stink, stink, stunk in, because I could get that fairly small magnet size, but I don't know. If you guys have a cuter idea for How the Grinch Stole Christmas in that size, please let me know because, yeah, I'm kind of running out of time at this stage. So, but I do want to do something. So please let me know if you have something. And then the other thing is Happy Meal. I got my first Happy Meal. So the Girl Scouts, every fall, they have a fall fundraiser, and it's candy, nuts, and magazines. Well, a lot of people don't know about this. It's just not publicized because there's not a lot of foot traffic on it. Like the cookies, you got the booths and you got, door-to-door sales. And you can have door-to-door sales with a fall product, but it's usually just people that you know, and it's low maintenance because it's all online. There's nothing to actually give people until the product comes in, if that makes sense. But this year, I found out that the fundraiser actually includes just Cross Stitch magazine. So I subscribed. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I couldn't justify it because I was like, I don't know, like I got bills to pay. I don't have $20-$30 to spend on a magazine that isn't a necessity. But I went ahead and splurged because it was for a good cause. I got my first one and I love it. It has some cute Thanksgiving Day ones in there. There's this little bitty turkey. Let's see if I can find it. This little bitty turkey. I don't know if I'm gonna do it this year. I probably won't have time, but sometime between now and next Thanksgiving, I really want to do this. And then, speaking of magazines, I won my first giveaway the other day. And it was on a channel called Stay at Home Stitcher. Her name is Erin. And let me cover up her address. Don't want to. But it's the ornaments. I love it. I was actually kind of worried because this is the new 2022 ornament one. And I was kind of worried when I did the subscription to Just Cross Stitch that this was gonna be the one that they sent me first, but it wasn't. So I'm happy about that because this is a whole other set of ornaments that I can dig into. I'm so excited. So if you're not following her, you really should, because she has this one piece. It's Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, and I love watching the progress on that one. I hope she makes it a focus piece before too much longer, because I would love to see that finished. But since we're on shout outs and talking about other people's channels, I have two more. So one is One Stitch at a Time - Tara. Tara is super sweet. She subscribed to my channel before I even had the first FlossTube. So I appreciate that like little unintentional push into FlossTube, because I am loving it. I'm loving the conversations that I'm having with everyone. I'm loving just the whole community, because I don't get that face to face. So it's really nice. So thank you for pushing me into the FlossTube world with your little subscribe. The next one is Mr. Hollick, Sean Hollick, if you don't follow his channel, which he has a pretty good following, so I imagine everyone's heard of him by now. But I love his sense of humor. I love listening to him talk about his charts, and I love how diverse they are. You know, because he goes from like the samplers to the more masculine ones, which I mean, samplers are gender neutral, so I mean, not saying they're feminine, but you know, he goes from like the samplers that, you know, like everyone's kind of doing, to the more masculine ones, to the novelty ones, to ones that he's doing for friends. I mean, they're just all over the place, and I love watching his videos. Love it. I really love his Instagram. I love following him over there. But he is the first person to ever shout me out. And I am so grateful for the shout out, because so many people have found my channel because of his kindness. So I really appreciate all three of those people, because they have supported me in various ways, and I truly appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone who subscribed to me as well, because whether you know it or not, you're supporting me in my craft, and I really, really appreciate that. All right, well, I think that is all that I have for you today. I love to hear your feedback about all the many questions that I have. But yeah, have a great day. TTFN, ta-ta for now.